ChatGPT. ChatGPT hit 100 million users faster than any consumer application in history, and nobody saw it coming, including OpenAI. November 30th, 2022, they dropped it as a research preview, expecting maybe 10,000 users to poke around. Within 5 days, 1 million people. Servers immediately collapsed. OpenAI engineers watched their infrastructure melt in real time, while the internet lost its collective mind. Here's the thing nobody talks about. ChatGPT wasn't smarter than GPT-3. Same underlying model, GPT 3.5, that had been available through OpenAI's API for months. Developers already had access. Nobody cared. Then OpenAI slapped a chat interface on it, and suddenly, your uncle who prints out emails was asking it to write poetry about his dog. Students immediately started cheating on essays. Programmers debugged code at 3 a.m. People generated Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. Teachers panicked and tried banning it. Universities scrambled to buy AI detection software that didn't work. Stack Overflow banned ChatGPT answers because people were flooding the site with confident nonsense. By January 2023, 100 million users. TikTok took 9 months to hit that number. Instagram took 2.5 years. Microsoft saw the chaos and threw $10 billion at OpenAI. January 2023. Not a partnership, a panic investment. Google's CEO issued a code red to every division. Meta accelerated llama development. Anthropic started pitching Claude harder. Every major tech company realized they'd been asleep, while OpenAI accidentally triggered an arms race. The uncomfortable truth. OpenAI released ChatGPT as a low-stakes experiment to gather data. They were testing if people would even want to talk to AI. Turns out, we desperately do. We'll talk to anything that responds coherently. And the moment ChatGPT proved chatbots could be profitable, every tech company on Earth lost its mind simultaneously. Google, the company that invented the transformer architecture powering every modern language model, lost to a startup so badly, they rushed out a demo that was immediately exposed as fake. February 6, 2023. Google announced Bard with a slick promotional video showing it answering questions about space telescopes. The problem? Bard got the answer wrong. James Webb Space Telescope facts, confidently incorrect. Google's stock dropped $100 billion in a single day. Then it got worse. People noticed the demo wasn't even real time. It was edited, pre-recorded, cherry-picked responses stitched together to look impressive. Google, drowning in panic, had faked their AI debut while ChatGPT was genuinely melting servers from actual user demand. Here's the tragic irony. Google Brain published Attention is All You Need in 2017, the Transformer paper, the foundational architecture that makes ChatGPT, GPT-4, Claude, and every other language model possible. Google invented this technology. They had years of head start. LaMDA was generating coherent conversations back in 2021. Remember Blake Lemoine, the engineer who claimed LaMDA was sentient and got fired? That was June 2022, 6 months before ChatGPT launched. Google had the tech, the talent, and the infrastructure. They just didn't ship it. Internal committees debated safety. Leadership worried about reputation risk. Their AI ethics team raised concerns, then got quietly dismantled. Meanwhile, OpenAI moved fast and broke things. Bard's actual launch was a disaster. Waitlists, bugs, boring responses compared to ChatGPT's personality. Google kept rebranding it, tweaking it, trying to catch up. They invented the game, built the stadium, wrote the rulebook, then watched from the sidelines while OpenAI won the championship. But Google wasn't the only company scrambling. While they were eating crow publicly, Anthropic was quietly building something that claimed to be different, something safer, something with principles. Anthropic, founded by OpenAI's former safety team after they quit over concerns the company was moving too fast and breaking too many things. Dario Amodei and Daniela Amodei, siblings who led OpenAI's safety research, walked out in 2021. Their reason: OpenAI was prioritizing deployment over alignment. So they started Anthropic to build AI the right way, carefully, safely, with principles baked into the foundation. Claude, their answer to ChatGPT, launched in early 2023 with a pitch that sounded almost sanctimonious. Constitutional AI. Instead of just training models to be helpful, they trained Claude on a constitution of values. Be harmless, be honest, respect boundaries. The result? An AI with the personality of an extremely polite Canadian who apologizes before explaining why it can't help you synthesize methamphetamine. The spec wars started immediately. Claude launched with a 100,000 token context window, when GPT-4 had 8,000. That's roughly 75,000 words. You could feed it entire novels. Then they pushed it to 200,000 tokens. Enterprises loved it. Notion integrated Claude. Quora built Poe around it. DuckDuckGo added it as an option. But here's the uncomfortable question nobody asks. Is Claude actually safer or just more neurotic about saying no? It refuses more requests. It lectures you about ethics occasionally. But the underlying technology is fundamentally the same. Large language models trained on internet text, predicting the next token, no true understanding of consequences. And then there's the money. September 2023, Google invested $2 billion in Anthropic. Amazon threw in $4 billion more. The company, founded by people who quit OpenAI over safety concerns, took $6 billion from the exact tech giants they were supposedly providing an ethical alternative to. Claude promised alignment and constitutional values. Meanwhile, Meta decided the solution to AI safety was giving everyone the code and hoping for the best. Llama. Meta released it in February 2023 as a research-only model with strict access controls, and within a week, it leaked to 4chan. Torrent sites, GitHub repositories, the entire model, weights and all, floating freely across the internet. Meta's response: a shrug and a pivot. By July 2023, they released Llama 2 publicly and pretended the leak was part of the plan all along. Mark Zuckerberg's strategy became obvious. If you're losing the AI race, give away the technology and commoditize your competitors' business models. Meta couldn't beat ChatGPT or Claude in the chatbot wars, so they armed everyone else to build alternatives. Llama 2 was free, fully open source, commercial use allowed. Download it, modify it, remove safety filters, build whatever you want. The community went wild. Within months, hundreds of fine-tuned versions appeared. Vicuna, Wizard LM, uncensored models with safety guardrails stripped out, specialized versions for coding, roleplay, creative writing. Llama became the Linux of AI. And Meta, company everyone distrusts with their data, accidentally became the open source heroes. Llama 3 dropped in 2024 and genuinely competed with GPT-4. Same capabilities, completely free. You could run it on your own hardware. No API costs, no usage limits, no content policies unless you added them yourself. Meta dumped billions into training these models and gave them away because undermining OpenAI and Google was worth more than direct monetization. Here's where it gets weird. Open source means anyone can use these models. Anyone can fine-tune them. Anyone can remove the parts that say no. Researchers celebrate transparency. Safety teams panic about misuse. Both are probably right. And while we're debating whether democratizing AI is liberation or catastrophe, the models themselves are getting exponentially more capable. Faster than anyone predicted. GPT-4 launched March 2023 and passed the bar exam in the 90th percentile. Multimodal. Could analyze images, write code, reason through complex problems. Microsoft Research published a paper claiming it showed sparks of artificial general intelligence. The AI community immediately split between people calling it hype and people quietly terrified it might be true. Gemini Ultra, Google's redemption attempt, dropped December 2023 with benchmarks claiming it beat GPT-4. Then people noticed the demo video was heavily edited again. Google had learned nothing. The actual model was impressive, but the marketing destroyed credibility before anyone could try it. Claude 3 Opus, March 2024. Anthropic finally launched a model that topped GPT-4 on multiple benchmarks. Longer context windows, better reasoning, fewer hallucinations, allegedly. Enterprises migrated. Developers compared outputs obsessively. The spec sheet wars reached absurdity. Here's the uncomfortable truth. For normal people, they're functionally identical. Ask GPT-4, Claude, and Gemini to explain photosynthesis, and you'll get 3 variations of the same. Answer: they all write decent code. They all generate plausible business emails. They all confidently hallucinate citations when they don't know something. The differences matter to researchers and enterprises optimizing workflows, but your aunt using it for recipe modifications can't tell them apart. Training costs exploded into hundreds of millions per model. Context windows became a dick measuring contest. 100,000 tokens, 200,000, a million. Benchmarks showed everything scoring above 95% on standard tests. Diminishing returns everywhere, and nobody could answer the fundamental question: are these things actually reasoning or just extremely sophisticated? Autocomplete, pattern matching at incomprehensible scale, or genuine understanding? The companies building them don't know. The researchers studying them argue constantly, but none of them are racing toward better chatbot. They're racing toward agents, toward AGI, toward superintelligence, and they're doing it in secret while publishing blog posts about responsible development and safety. OpenAI's stated mission is artificial general intelligence. Anthropic exists to build safe superintelligence. Google wants AI that organizes all human knowledge. Meta wants to commoditize everyone else's model, and all of them are accelerating towards something none of them can actually define, let alone control. AGI has been 5 years away for 70 years. Researchers in the 1950s thought it was imminent. Every decade since, same prediction. But now the timeline feels different. Models went from barely coherent to passing professional exams in 3 years. Scaling laws suggest bigger models with more compute. Just keep getting better. Until when? Nobody knows where the curve breaks. O-series models, GPT-4o, O1, O3. These aren't just chatbots anymore. They're reasoning models that pause before responding, chain thoughts together, solve problems step by step. They use tools. Browse the web, execute code, debug their own errors. We're not building better autocomplete. We're building agents. The alignment problem keeps everyone awake at night. How do you control something smarter than you? How do you ensure it wants what you want when you can't even predict what it will do? Companies are deploying increasingly capable systems while admitting they don't understand how they work internally. Black boxes optimizing for objectives we specified poorly. Regulation is already obsolete before it's written. The EU AI Act classifies systems by risk levels that don't capture emergence. Executive orders mandate safety testing for models above specific compute thresholds, while researchers figure out how to make smaller models just as capable. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. It might be simultaneously overhyped and genuinely dangerous. Most use cases are mundane, but edge cases scale weird. We handed everyone on Earth access to AI that writes, codes, analyzes, and persuades. The next generation won't even ask permission before acting. That's either the productivity revolution or the opening scene of a movie we've all seen. And we're about to find out which one in real time.